Right. I'm also being joined by Harish Bijoor. Harish, before I go on and ask you what is expected of the Prime Minister of the country when he makes that speech to the nation, do help us understand, the immediate impact of GST which is going to be rolled out tomorrow.
Well, I think, if you're going to predict what PM Modi ji is going to say, it's a very, very tough game. It's predicting the unpredictable. But obvious pointers seem to say that today, the September 22nd, and I think, that was the date chosen. GST reforms have pushed through, and I think GST reforms are going to benefit consumers a fair bit by leaving a little more in their pockets, and that little more could get back into consumption. So reforms wise, you have seen around that, a whole host of companies, some of the biggest companies around have actually, reduced their prices much in advance. Some of the automakers have reduced it 15 days ago or 2 days after the announcement was made. So I think there's going to be a fair bit of a gung-ho feel with the consumer. Consumers are going to say that whatever I buy during the festive season is going to be that much cheaper. In any case, the festive season loosens purses, and I think this is a great occasion to mop up that extra money.
How do you think it's going to impact the GDP of the country, especially in wake of, quite the speculation that the 50% tariffs may end up reducing the rate at which we are growing?
While the GDP growth rate has been very stupendous as far as India is concerned, people are, however, sitting on the fence. People are telling themselves that we live in uncertain times. And in uncertain times, the best thing to do is sit on money and not spend money. I hope the GST reforms are actually going to loosen purse strings to actually say that, no, this is the time we must start spending money. And so I think, this business of prosperity is two-ended. One is at the macro level, you talk about the GDP growth, and the GDP growth having achieved a stupendous number. When other countries were calling us a dead economy, we actually proved it that we were the most alive and the most kicking of those economies. But that doesn't translate into micro level realities where there are homes which don't want to spend. So the GST reform is possibly one of those which is going to encourage people to bring their monies out into the market and spend and continue the vicious cycle of purchasing leading to production leading to more jobs, and more jobs creating more prosperity.
Also talking about revenue collections, how do you think this is going to impact the revenue collections for the government?
Oh, well, there should be a whopping set of months for sure, because two things have happened. In fact, there was a curtailment of sale for about 3 weeks. So all of a sudden, pent-up demand. Now that's going to bring in a lot more money. Retail inventories. Inventories at retail, at the wholesaler level, at the C&F level, were totally thin. So all of a sudden, that money is going to come in together. It's going to be a bit artificial. You can't expect the same kind of a growth month on month. But the 2 months ahead are going to be really good GST mop-up months for sure.
What measures do you think we need to take for our exporters that are going to be negatively impacted by tariffs?
Well, these efforts should have been taken 8 years ago, if not 10 years ago, or if not 15 years ago, but we haven't because, we are so comfortable because when we export to one country, we get so satisfied that this country is my mother, my bread and butter, and nothing will go wrong. But that's not true, right? So all of a sudden, tariffs have hit us, and they've told us that you cannot be over-dependent on one country. So hedging is something that we need to do. And this is not only my exporter of woolen garments from Ludhiana or the hockey stick guys from somewhere, sports equipment guys from somewhere, but it's also IT end-to-end services. Because IT end-to-end services have done the same darn thing. Over the last 28 years, I mean, the mother market has been the United States of America. And now I think, with the H1B bomb, which has gone off, I do believe people are going to reconsider and rethink. But in many ways, it's a great thing to have happened. At least it's making us think. It's making us ask the question, why are we not hedged on our exports? 2, why are we not yet Atmanirbhar? 3, in terms of instead of our people going out to work elsewhere, why don't we bring those companies to set up outfits within this country, telling them that we're a great country to be in because the educational backbone is fantastic, our ecosystem of work is good, and what we used to do, on your shores, you can do it on our shores. And so I think creating a flip of uh, the economy is something we have to think of seriously. And flip by
Yeah.
meaning, Singapore companies coming to India, that was a flip. But today we're talking about thoroughbred companies, possibly from the United States of America, thinking of bringing the operations into India and making it work out here. So
Yeah.
offshoring with a completely different perspective.
Yeah, you touched upon the subject of the H1B visa crackdown that has been recently announced by the Trump administration. Do you think this is an opportunity for us to retain talent, bring back talent to the country?
Oh yes, in the short term, it's a lot of pain because the Indian student who's been out there doing his computer science has got this great big American dream. Now that dream gets shattered, or not shattered. That dream gets cloaked by a fee of 88 lakhs rupees. If you're saying 100,000 as the minimum point. Now, which simply means to say that you can't go there, and if you can't go there, then you are missed opportunity. So there are a lot of students who are going to say that I studied to go there, but that didn't happen. Guys, don't be depressed. You'll get your jobs here for sure, but the American dream is not going to be there. Maybe you need to adopt a different dream, a Canadian dream, an Australian dream, a European dream, a Tirupur dream, or a Domlur dream. I come from Bengaluru, and Domluru is quite a nice place to be.